Blizzard is garbage. They're woke, they're boring, they have not made a single thing worth talking about in the last 20 years of their existence, honestly. Just disappointment after disappointment. World of Warcraft expansions, completely abandoning StarCraft 2, Diablo 2 resurrected at the start, Warcraft 3 reforged, and who can forget Diablo 3 and Diablo 4? Absolute disappointments. And I'm not afraid to say this, but the Blizzard cope has gotten so unbelievably bad. I mean, we're literally here. Do you know what's the title of this video? Ian just admitted they broke Midnight on purpose. And you're probably thinking, wow, that's stupid. And wow, did they really? Probably not. But Blizzard has been kind of doing a vague posting like this in a while. If you have not been paying attention, then for the last roughly 3 years, Blizzard has been doing this stupid strategy of saying, well, you know what? You say the game's bad, but what if? What if? What if, listen, what if? What if we told you we made the game bad on purpose? Yes, this has literally been Blizzard's strategy that they implemented like in the time span of the past 3 years. Oh, we made the game bad on purpose to see how bad can it get without players disliking it or something. It's the most dumbest, shittiest cope ever. And by the way, that is on top of already Blizzard's plan of constantly saying, we at Blizzard Entertainment listen to our player feedback. We never literally fucking implement any of it, but here at Blizzard, we listen. And we want you to know. When we said a month back that we are listening and changing things because we listened, and we didn't actually change anything, we want you to know this time that we listened, and we are going to change things because we listened. We understand our mistakes, and we listened. Fast forward a month, and it's another one. Yes, we said we listened last time. We got it wrong. I wish I was joking, but this is pretty much a kind of accurate representation of how this stuff happens. It's the saddest stuff ever, okay? And then there's like Blizzard fans who are like, oh, they said they're gonna listen. Yes, they have said that literally like 20 times this fucking year alone. And they have done nothing. And then we have like the developers. This literally, by the way, happened with Diablo 4, by the way. They said that they listened and that they're gonna make things according to fan feedback. Spoiler alert, obviously they didn't. But after like a week or two after saying that, they literally came out on one stream and they were like, well, it's really hard to implement fan feedback because when we hear about it, usually it's like a year later, so it's already old and we can't implement it. Oh my god. Boys, listen, just give up on Blizzard.
You know things are getting serious when the game's head honcho drops an almost 3,000 word long article that's defending Blizzard's newfound
Too long, didn't read.
Courage. The courage to do bold and outright brash things, like, say, the changes they're making to leveling in Midnight, or how they're now building a new zone with a very peculiar name using only vanilla assets, and of course, everything with add-ons. And really, every week for the last while, Blizzard have done something to shake things up. This week is no different. It's full of surprises. Most are good, but not quite all of them.
I also have been hearing this Blizzard is shaping things up. I don't know how long, but it's also been, I think, like at least 2 years at this point. All these things never stop. The cope and lies and seeding just does not stop from Blizzard.
First, though, we need to talk about game director Ian Hazzikostas. This may be the single largest change an expansion has ever made to World of Warcraft. That is not a title of a video on our channel, though it may well be. No, those are Ian's own words from the article that he posted. And that does make sense. Midnight is bringing change unlike ever before. We've seen the fallout to the add-on apocalypse in real time, but now Ian has fully, officially responded to things. So, what could possibly be worth all of this chaos? His answer is simple.
Nothing.
It's that there has been a shift. from add-ons that display information to add-ons that process information. Obviously, we have heard this before. We know guilds and pugs force people to download weak auras to solve mechanics. We know people play with Hikili or Plater because they can't really understand their class or react to things fast enough with the game as it's currently presented. But why does any of that stuff bother Ian? Because obviously, it's been in the game for a long time. And the answer he poses is actually simple. It's the feedback he gets. Whenever they design a boss that's too easy, players tell him it's not satisfying. Whenever they build a class around simple choices, they get the same complaint. But here's the thing. He knows that's because players are using add-ons to make it easier. Now, of course...
Well, like, what does that even matter? Everyone is caught... So... This is also, by the way, a complaint that has existed for, what, literally 10 years or something? That Blizzard is literally petrified, afraid of players having any agency, so they make everything autistic-proof and hand-holdy to the maximum. And people have been complaining about this all the time, that Blizzard just makes everything so stupid and hand-holdy.
Course, they still need to make the game better for those players. So, over time, what Ian's team have done for years and years is just add more layers to the game. They've made it faster, they've made it more complex, but that's also left people who weren't using add-ons behind, meaning that WoW was less approachable, and meaning the design team can't...
By the way, all of this nonsense about World of Warcraft being less approachable is as fucking cope as you can get. Listen, we still have this game called Lost Ark. It is, even the first fucking actual boss encounter you face in that game is roughly 100 times harder than the hardest fucking encounter in World of Warcraft's history. On every level possible. Speed, performance, skill, and everything. Okay? The typical Lost Ark boss, and well, this is actual raids, not the story raids, which are actually... But again, those were the ones that I'm talking about. They are still 100% more harder than anything that World of Warcraft players have ever seen in their life. Like, the first encounter with literal Burrell Shaza in the fucking story would make 99% of World of Warcraft players insta-quit because how the hell can a beginner first story boss have more than 10 mechanics? It is what it is. And again, Lost Ark, I'm just trying to get my point across, that Lost Ark is a insanely more difficult and demanding game on literally every level than World of Warcraft. Lost Ark literally has bosses that are gonna hit you on this side or that side, and the difference how you can fucking tell which side is gonna get hit is if a fucking 3 pixels long sword is pointed that way or the other way. Okay? Those are actual real... No, that's not... That's actually a Vicus mechanic. It is one, but it's a little bit different. That's actually a Vicus mechanic. In any case, that Lost Ark has that. World of Warcraft does not. Okay? And in Lost Ark, people... without typing, without the use of voice fucking chat, have figured out how to create tactics so that pugs can solo these things. You don't need a team, you can actually pug it. Now, pugging is harder, granted, obviously, than actually finding a Discord or dedicated players. But still, pugs can do these things. And in World of Warcraft, pugs can't do shit, and you treat them like morons.
Make satisfying content because they're designing around automation tools rather than designing around the actual players. And that is why it's going to end now. In big, bold text, Ian states it plainly. Add-ons should no longer offer a competitive advantage in WoW combat. That's a humongous change, it's a solid guiding principle, and after years of reflection and thinking about this, I wholeheartedly agree with it. I think in a world where WoW's designers are in full control, the game is almost guaranteed to improve massively. I mean, the current discussion we have with add-ons that make the game easier is not really something that we see in many of the world's most popular video games. It ends up being quite a weird specific WoW thing. Those layers and layers of complexity and challenge often ended up being just to, well, combat that people were using computational add-ons. I think that made the game's signal-to-noise ratio significantly worse, and it made WoW far less readable, which is a real huge problem if you actually want to, you know, get new players into your game. Thinking about recent experience, I mean, Dementius is one of the best bosses in WoW's entire history, even without add-ons. Loads of my guild used none. I used none, other than console port to make my controller experiment feel a little bit better. So, I think Midnight has got insane promise, but that is easier said than done, and I think that's what a lot of people are thinking right
I did a couple of raids when I was playing World of Warcraft, and I saw half the raid typically get wiped on every second boss, and I was like, I'm sorry, what the fuck is killing people? I have no idea. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, I see something. How are people dying? I'm sorry, what's happening?
now, that even if this goal is good, and many of us agree with it, well, the problem is the amount of chaos and what's going on in the community. And that is what Ian tries to address next. Right now, the community is aflame with people kind of outraged. We don't know what's going to be supported when it comes to add-ons. Purely cosmetic add-ons, which should be fine per Blizzard's guidelines, appear to be breaking. The damage meters that Blizzard have implemented don't seem to work on the beta, and major add-on devs have even thrown in the towel. Many posted about how it was almost impossible to get some basic functionality working on the early alpha builds because lots of the technical stuff had changed. People had no idea what to expect, and going beyond just the add-on devs, a lot of people were just a bit scared, a bit worried, and what we would really all need to see was Blizzard's version of these add-ons, because that would tell us what the game would actually look and feel like. So, there's been a lot of chaos, a lot of collateral damage, and that is what Ian then goes into. He carefully admits that their changes did cause a lot of that chaos. Now, many add-on devs posted about the extent of the breakage, a lot of this just being essentially APIs and stuff changing. But Ian can't really brazenly admit something like that in a post like this. So instead, what he did was publicly commit to customization as a goal that they are working towards. And in fairness, with recent changes on the beta, we do know that that's not just talk. There's now support for class resources like Holy Power. Damage meters are getting more details-like options. There's text-to-speech stuff, audio alerts. The accessibility features are coming in slowly, but thankfully they are actually coming in. But here's what makes this whole mess a little bit different.
You need to understand accessibility features. Well, what the fuck is an accessibility feature? Are they talking about, like, what, you know?
Ian admits this chaos was actually a necessary part of their plan, that rather than cut functionality down bit by bit, they just decided to do it all at once and to burn everything to the ground, and that once alpha players would give feedback on what was missing, they would then know what to work on next. I suppose not based on what they think would be the right thing to work on, but based...
Oh my god! I have talked about this so much. All you need in World of Warcraft add-ons wise is just the ability to pick and choose what debuffs you see on the boss. Like, you know, if your character's like here, like for example here, okay? And if you have a buff, maybe you see your buff somewhere else and you just pick where you see it. Stacks of something also, you can put them on the screen if you want. It's that simple. It's that ridiculously simple. And Blizzard can't fucking manage that. This is the only add-on World of Warcraft has ever needed. Ever. And that's it. I have played, I played pretty much Classic without any of the raid add-ons, and it was fine. See it, it was fine. No, there was literally no problem about it. Okay? It's just, none of these add-ons have ever been needed.
Based on actual player need communicated by players. And from that point, they would then start to rebuild things. So, rather ironically...
Also, this is kind of telling, because why the hell would you need player feedback if you have people who play the game and are World of Warcraft employees. That's kind of strange. Shouldn't they already know everything that's needed?
All of this chaos was sort of part of the plan. But this does raise quite the question. And the question is this. It's a lot of change. Why now? Why seemingly rush things? I mean, expansions are raw.
Because the World of Warcraft numbers are worse than they have ever been. Stop with the crap of, oh, World of Warcraft is better than that. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not.
Enough without this type of gigantic change layered on top. The good news is, Ian actually gave us an answer for that as well. Ian admits that he first started talking about add-ons last year to basically start the community conversation. And when he did, he found that on average, people did not want add-ons to be required, or to at least feel required. But naturally, they also didn't fully trust Blizzard to get things right. So they started investigating, basically thinking, what would it take to pull this off? And apparently, their UI engineers are a little bit cracked, and they ended up making way more progress than Blizzard.
The UI engineers are cracked? Then why the fuck does every single person download 15 different add-ons to make the UI look different? I'm like probably one of the 5 people dumb enough in the world to actually not have a bag add-on at this point. If the UI engineers are so amazing, why is almost every single person in the game using an add-on that changes the UI? And it's not like they're using one of 300 million other add-ons that they have access to. It's like everyone's using the same fucking add-on that does the same fucking thing. And if there's a different add-on, it does the same thing again, but slightly different maybe.
Themselves imagined. And that meant they all kind of realized something a bit astonishing. That they actually could do it in time for the Midnight expansion. That, yes, it would be cutting things close, but that this was the type of change that you can only make with a new expansion. So they faced a choice. Either risk the UI changes not being fully ready, or keep the add-on heavy status quo until the last Titan. Obviously, they decided to pull the trigger, and that set off a chain reaction of changes across the game. Changes that have impacted classes, changes that have impacted dungeons, and massively so. Though, I'm happy to say, at least in our experience so far, they have mostly let their designers cook. And if you've watched our winners and losers video on Melee DPS, you'll know that almost every spec comes into Midnight a bit more simple, but without losing what makes them unique and hard to master. Dungeons, at least in our limited testing, have also kind of went the same way. There's way less sensory overload, way less reading the UI. You're actually playing the game a hell of a lot more, which, well, I think should be the point of a game, actually. You know, shocking statement. Now, obviously, there still are some questions here. Will damage meters actually work well? How much more will be fixed during the beta? And will this actually revitalize WoW? Will it actually have that intended effect? Or will it just kind of piss off current players who have got to go and rebuild their UI? Well, Ian can't answer that, but he believes that it's worth the risk, and he promises here that they will do, quote, everything possible. And I, for one, actually believe him. I believe him personally, but there's also that if the player numbers go down and the money goes down, yeah, they very much will have to do everything possible to save their own skin, so you can say that at least their incentives do appear to be aligned. Now, I think Midnight is definitely not going to launch perfectly. It's an expansion launch, and one with a shitload of change, so I think it will be a little bit rocky. But I do prefer a WoW that is bold.
Wait, Zulaban again?
Rocky. But I...
New zone! Oh, shit. Wait. Actually, Zulaban for like, what, the 5th fucking time?
I do prefer a WoW that is bold, that is brave, and that is actually trying to solve problems fundamentally, instead of one that is just afraid to rock the boat. And
yeah, how about we also, you know, fix the art of the game, because the art's ass? And by art, I don't honestly mean, you know, for example, this in general, but how they make things. I have complained about this so many times. Blizzard makes cities that don't resemble cities. Blizzard makes the countryside that doesn't resemble the countryside. Blizzard makes a desert that looks like the exact same desert in the game. Like, the Bandaged Guy Desert. That one. Kaladesh or whatever it was called. Don't remember. Don't care. That one. That shit didn't look special at all. It just looked like a copy pasted the exact same desert that we have already seen in the game, like the exact same 10 times before. They can't even create a new unique environment because everything feels the fucking same because of the poor art style choices and nothing making any sense.
Speaking of rocking the boat, there is another bold move, and it's one that may upset some people. Dungeons are going to work a little differently in Midnight, and it's been rather controversial. So, in the War Within, you may remember how the Rookery was part of the main story. You went in with your followers in order to recruit the Storm Riders. Basically, they would be the last line of defense for Khazalgar. And of course, by going into the dungeon, you firsthand got to see it all go wrong. Zaltat's corruption became apparent as you then had to go and kill them all, which obviously led Khazalgar a little bit defenseless, Belgar both furious and...
Wait, I absolutely love this retarded trope that Blizzard is doing with every expansion, and I just actually thought about this. Some of you probably have already noticed this, but I'm so on the uptick, boys. It is what it is. Every single expansion, you find a group of people that are really friendly to you right off the bat. You become their champion in literally 5 seconds flat. And then there's a group of those people that are evil. Now, suddenly, because reasons. The Nerubians, this shit, everything, every single time. And whenever you go to a place where, oh, this place has the evil these guys, there's like this conclave of, no, we're the good these guys. We matter. Bruv, what is this? Never-ending pride fucking parade? What the hell is this? And this always happens. This always happens. You never just find a group that's just a random group of people. They always have to be the center of the story, and they always have to have a group of people that suddenly turn evil on the flip of a goddamn coin. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. Like, how the hell does this happen only when some kind of baddie comes in and says, oh, you guys, you want pulpit or something? And they're like, I guess we do. Oh, man, like, there's never also a reason why they actually turn evil. Like, do you know why these guys just kind of fucking succumb and allow themselves to be corrupted? Because if it's just corruption, you need to understand one thing. It's like, why corruption? If Zalatath can just corrupt these dudes, then why doesn't she corrupt more of them? And if they allow themselves to be corrupted, how the hell is this just a problem now? Turns out half of your, like, whole race is actually, like, just waiting until the drop of the hat to become evil? Like, what the fuck? And if they're accepting Zalatath, well, like, what is she promising? Well, what are these vague promises? What is this vague posting nonsense? Like the Nerubians, right? Oh, Zalatath's like, I'm gonna make Nerubian place great again, and it's like, what the fuck? What? And what happens after that? Like, there's no motivation for anything left in this stupid game. There's literally no motivations. The good guys don't have a motivation above, oh, we're the good guys, I guess we have to do something. And the bad guys' motivations are even worse. They're like, well, I guess we're the bad guys, we gotta do something, but worse. I can't. I hate World of Warcraft so much. It is insane. Everything that can be done is just done poorly. In any case, that was Billion News 10 out of 10. Again, you heard it here first. World of Warcraft is bad because the developers intentionally made it bad. Make it make sense. Bye.